Hello, I'm Julien.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Miriam, and we're very excited to present A Gypsy's Journey.
We'll try to answer a few questions that might give you a little bit more information about who we are and what we're about to present to you in our concert.
Well, I will start. Julien, what made you decide to become a classical musician?
Well, for me, it's a very precise moment actually. When I was 9, I saw the movie Amadeus, which talks about the life of Mozart, the composer. And I was really mesmerized and completely astonished by the music and the movie. And I right away wanted to be able to play like he played. So it's very a few months after I saw that film that I asked my parents and started piano lessons. And right from the starts, from the first year I was studying the instrument, I really knew that I would make that a living, that that's what I would do for my life.
Wonderful.
And actually, Miriam, so what do you do as a soprano? Do you have any kind of pre-concert rituals that you do?
I don't know if I would call them rituals, but I definitely like to relax on the day of. And sometimes it depends, hopefully, if the weather is nice, I'll go for a really long walk just to kind of get inspired and breathe and get my body moving. And I like to stretch. And one of my big rituals is I like to have bananas on site. I know it's a little odd, but they're actually really good as beta blockers, which is like a natural thing that kind of suppresses nerves, so it kind of calms you down, it slows down your blood pressure, and they're the perfect thing to kind of have in your stomach because they're not too heavy and
Yeah, they also give
Interesting.
you energy.
Yeah,
I think
they're
I'm the
very
same
good
with
energy.
bananas,
Yeah.
actually.
and I love my tea, so tea is a
Tea
big
is
thing.
a definite yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
what are the biggest challenges for you as a touring musician, and what are your biggest joys?
I think the biggest challenges being a touring musician is the actual touring part, the actual traveling. It's carrying the big bags and the big gowns, and there's nothing really elegant about going to the airport with all these things. And then it's a different hotel every night, and hoping that it's a comfortable bed and that it's quiet and that you can eat properly and all of those things. The biggest joys are being on stage and singing for all those audiences, and to feel their energy and their the connection that you have. You travel to these places, and then through music you can bring joy to them, and their energy brings joy to yourself. It's really wonderful. Julien, what do you do to prepare for a concert tour?
Well, there's many stages, I think, when you prepare for a tour. I think, of course, the first thing is to learn the repertoire, to learn the notes, to learn, kind of decide what you want to do expressively with it. And then I think once that stage, I'm comfortable with the notes, I'm comfortable with the music, then it's really to try and go much further. And that's where my imagination as an artist comes into part. I try to think about the entire program and kind of pace it in my head and decide, like what moments are kind of the key moments in the program, what moments are kind of more internal, which one are more energetic, the kind of emotion that I want to give throughout the entire program. And what's really exciting about doing a tour with other musicians is that you also feed off from their energy, from their ideas,
Yes, definitely.
and you try to get to in a zone where you actually are communicating with your audience, with your fellow musician, and that you're really just delivering the message that's we as musicians, I think on stage we become storytellers.
Yes.
And I think, as throughout the process, that's always my goal, is where I get comfortable enough that I know that I'm not just making sounds, but I'm actually telling a story. And so, Miriam, what are the most important considerations for you as you make a decision about a concert tour program?
I think when we started to talk about doing a program together, our big consideration was what kind of music spoke to us and what we felt we expressed very well, and from those we picked some key pieces that spoke to us personally, and then we kind of put a program together that fit well together, as you said, and that had really beautiful peaks. And I think one thing that we also thought about was what kind of audience that we're trying to reach, and what people would love to hear as well, and how does that highlight in terms of what our strengths are and how we can share that beautiful music with everyone. And I think Lauren, having done Carmen, and Julien being such an incredible pianist with French music, and I love anything kind of a Middle Eastern, so anything that kind of has a very earthy feel. We kind of tried to tailor the program to that kind of thing, and also I think about poetry and how that plays well together, because sometimes you can pick poetry that tells a story, and in that there is a linear feel to the whole program. So in that respect is how I would choose a program.
Great.
Lauren,
Yeah.
what have been the key non-musical influences in your life?
There are many non-musical influences in my life. The most would be my family, although there is lots of music in my family, but not that much classical, although my late grandfather used to sing beautifully. But we have drumming in our family, and we have folk singing in our family. There's a lot of nature. I find nature very inspiring. I find any forms of art, whether it's going to the ballet or going to see a movie, or picking up some paint and just playing around, I find it all very exciting. And friends feed you, and that you can feed. You can put towards all of the music. How about yourself, Miriam?
For me, I think my family. I have I'm very blessed with a really beautiful family, very supportive, and they've influenced me in that they've given me support to follow my dreams, which is to go into music. And as a result, I feel a lot of freedom and love in what I do, and that's a really, really huge thing, I think. And I think friends for me are considered family, as you guys know. And it makes it a lot easier when you're performing also with friends that you consider family, and then you can really share a lot of who you are and be really open, even when we're on tour, because actually Lauren and I have been on tour before together, and Julien and I have done recitals together, and it's always been such a beautiful, positive experience. So you guys are musical influences, but also friends, so that really helps. What about you, Julien?
Well, I think, as Lauren was saying, nature for me plays a big part. I mean, I grew up near the sea, and the water is always something that I use as an image to explain what I do as a musician. Also, I mean, yes, of course, the people that I work with, the people that share my life, the people you meet while you're touring, because quite often on these tours you just get to meet many people from the different communities where you're about to perform, and it's always such a great experience to get to talk to people about how they live, about the music we're making, how they receive it, and that's all kind of influences that feeds off for my next projects. And usually I think that's kind of what feeds me, gives me energy to keep doing what we're doing. So I would say both nature and the people is what, and of course, I mean, any kind of forms of art, whether it's literature, cinema, theater, ballet. I think as musicians or any kind of artists, you kind of take everything in and try to put it in what you do, and share it and transform it with the public.
Well, speaking of sharing, we are very, very excited to come and share our love of music with all of you, and we hope that we will see you soon.